Hi everybody, the voice of fragrance here with another video. This time it's going to be a quick first impressions of the new Bond No. 9 fragrance. This is Bond No. 9 FiDi, or FiDi. It stands for Financial District, and it's also going to be an addendum to a fragrance that I reviewed quite a few years ago. Stay tuned. Now, this was released just in late summer or early fall of 2019, and it should be getting to the stores pretty soon. So because they did not have any samples, or they said they didn't have any, I was able to put it on my skin and gave it a few nice sprays. I did like it. I thought this might be one of the few Bonds that I would actually consider purchasing, but after a little bit it became familiar to me. But let's get into the notes first. The peppery top notes set against citrusy bergamot and mandarin combine freshness and edge. Middle notes of aromatic nutmeg cut with watery lotus flower add balance and zing. It is anchored with notes of spicy tonka bean, sensual amber, cedarwood, and musk for staying power. And I will agree, it did have some staying power. It lasted a long time. Was not a big projector after about 3 or 4 hours, but performance was decent. The whole time I had this fragrance on, it kept reminding me of something, and I finally was able to wrap my head around it and figure out what it was. This one, Michael Kors for Men. This has a interesting, if not extremely unique, story in Fragcom in the last 20 years probably, in that it was recalled after 2 weeks of being on the shelf. But it is a peppery fragrance, spicy, and it's also made by the same exact perfumer, Harry Fremont. This has to be what Laurice had in mind when she hired Harry to make this fragrance, because essentially this new Bond fragrance is a little bit more refined version of this. Nothing more. It's another copycat fragrance for Bond, which is kind of upsetting. So for the addendum to this review, when I first reviewed this, it had not been recalled yet, I don't think. So I often thought that I would go back to this one and tell about it, but this one was released around September 2014. This is Michael Kors for Men. It was recalled 2 weeks later because apparently some of the batches were off. They were actually really bad, and this was one of the bad ones that I was able to get my hands on and keep. It has mellowed since then, and it's not as bad, but it's definitely not as refined and rounded as the fragrance that came out in November, which was actually nice, but it was missing something to my nose all the time. So that's kind of the addendum to the original review of this one. Apparently, Bond No. 9 FiDi is the last fragrance that Harry Fremont is going to design, because he actually retired after this. I wish he would have gone out on a better fragrance, because although this one will appeal to the spicy and the peppery lovers out there, it's not that great. It's been done before, and although it kind of rounded out the edges and filled in the gaps of Michael Kors for Men, it's definitely not worth the $380 price tag that Bond has put on this. This is still a very new fragrance. On Fragrantica, it's getting 3.67, but that's just out of 3 votes right now. If you are a fan of a peppery, spicy fragrance, there's one that I think is far better than the Bond No. 9 or the Michael Kors. This is Marc Jacobs Bang. This is a peppery fragrance done right. This is a designer done right. Sadly, it didn't get a lot of attention when it was released. It was kind of far out there because it was peppery and strange and not this simple, crisp, clean, fresh fragrance. But this thing is absolutely amazing. Well-rounded, peppery, spicy, not over the top, no jagged edges. It's mainly for people who like spice, but honestly, get your nose on this if you can and get a bottle because it is a great, great fragrance. So there it is, a quick first impressions of the new Bond fragrance. Sadly, again, not a fragrance that I would ever buy, especially at that price range. I don't think at this point I own any Bond fragrances. They come out with way too many, and it's a matter of quantity versus quality. And their quality lately has been crap. I really would be hard-pressed to find a Bond fragrance that I like. So if you heard some little crunching in the video or saw a tail behind me, this is Daisy. I'm at my cousin's on puppy patrol, letting her out and everything. She's a cutie. If you have tried this fragrance, let me know. And let me know your thoughts of other peppery or spicy fragrances that you may like. And leave those in the comments down below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Yes. Oh, let's see. Do you like this fragrance? Do you like that? Oh, what is? Yes. Okay, how about this one? Oh. So those are Daisy's reviews as well.